steady climb along the river. The border between East and West Germany ran down the middle of the Elbe. This close to the west, communist East German security was especially tight. 31 railway tracks were sealed off. In our search for traces of the Cold War, we find one of the last surviving observation towers in the town of Amt Neuhaus. Built of reinforced concrete, it was never heated. It faces the river. Behind it was a restricted zone, accessible only with a special pass.
Früher, da waren die Bäume an der Elbe gekappt.
They cut down all the trees on the banks of the Elbe River to give the border guards a clear view and a clear shot. After the fall of communism, most of the guard towers were demolished. Only a few remain, like this one, which is now a monument.
The communist regime did all it could to depopulate the border area. Some farmers were allowed to remain, but were subjected to harassment. The family just behind the embankment in Fiele can trace its roots back to 1648. Axel and Anna are cousins. In summer 1989, Axel escaped by swimming across the Elbe. Anna feared for his life.
I brought along a folding ladder, and I left through the bedroom window, through the garden to the border fence. I set up the ladder, which triggered an alarm. So everything had to go very fast. I jumped down on the other side of the dike and then went straight into the water.
I was in the living room nursing my baby, and my younger sister came over and said, "Axel has swum across the Elbe." It was a shock for me because I didn't know when I'd ever see him again.
Freedom was so close, but the current is tricky. There are eddies and fast police boats. Some dared to escape. Others had reasons to stay, and not just out of fear for their own safety.
It's not like I stayed because I liked the communist regime. I wasn't sure what would happen to my parents if their daughter swam across the Elbe.
There wasn't any sign that anything would ever change. I was afraid it might get much worse. And looking back on it, it was amazing how fast everything did change. That half a year later, a ferry would cross at almost the very same spot. I guess my timing was just bad.
The ferry went into operation soon after the fall of communism. It would take a little longer before all the bridges are rebuilt. As we continue southward, the country gets more rugged. In both former East and former West, the hills are covered in the deep, dark forests of the Harz region. 600 meters above sea level is the Ecker Valley Dam. The border used to cross the middle of the dam, which made repairs difficult. In the fog in the background is the Brocken Mountain. In front of it is a Wernberg ski jump. For a long time, only birds moved freely here.
The inner German border, few traces of which are visible here, went through the middle. For example, if someone went really far on the ski jump, he might land on the other side in East Germany. So the ski jump was closed for decades.
Benno was once forbidden to climb the Brocken, but now at age 77, he's catching up.
For 28 years, I could look out from Wernigerode to the Brocken, but I couldn't go up it. And so my frustration just kept growing. It was great when, starting on December 3rd, 1989, we could hike up our mountain again.
Today is his 5,726th climb.
So let's get going.
The Brocken is very high and very windy. It's almost a museum of surveillance technology. And that's why, although it was not directly on the border, it was off limits to almost everyone. Benno was one of the many people who showed up to cross the barrier on December the 4th, 1989. It wasn't until 1994 that the last Russian soldier left the Brocken. Now Benno climbs the Brocken every single day. He makes sure he gets a stamp so he can prove it. If someone starts challenging his record, Benno comes twice a day, come rain or shine.
Back in 1824, Heinrich Heine wrote in the guest book, "Lots of stones, sour wine, no view, Heinrich Heine." It rhymes in German. Well, he was right about the fog blocking the view. The meteorologists say the Brocken has 306 days of fog each year, but that's exaggerated.
After all, it's not foggy the entire day. Benno goes on foot. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get a stamp. But he returns on the Harz narrow gauge railway, which produces some of the fog itself.